Isn't that wonderful? Yes, sir. Makes you wonder what the world's coming to.
Hello to all my nieces and nephews out there. Welcome to the basement. I am creepy Uncle Ray, just an above average contrarian hosting a pod stream where every Monday night myself and a guest play a video game and have a conversation and try not to be terrible at both. This week, I am not going to have a guest. I am going to be flying completely solo to the point where I am going to give you some opinions. They're probably all going to be terrible, but that's what's going to happen this week. Yeah, like I said, I usually go out of my way to get a guest and bring them in, but I decided to go guestless this week to try and give it a shot. I will be playing Destiny 2. I am in the process of farming some stuff. Not that that's very exciting, but it is to me. Yeah, so basically I would, at this point, introduce a guest. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is tell you a little bit about my week and something that's kind of a peeve of mine. Specifically, policemen, ambulance drivers, firefighters, if you're trying to get somewhere and in a rush and you turn your lights on and drive through and then turn them off just to get through the traffic, I get it. It's no big deal. I mean, I'm not much different. I can kind of get away with some stuff being a postal worker. I usually can kind of just throw the hazards on and go wherever I want and park wherever I want and not really have to answer to anybody. But if you're, any one of those people, at least put the lights on when you're going to take illegal turns, because it's dangerous. And I'm not even kidding. Today I had a cop take an illegal left-hand turn at probably one of the more inappropriate points in the town I deliver mail in, and didn't have his lights on. And unfortunately, in that specific intersection, a lot of people run the light. They try and beat, the light and try and get to a certain place where they can just get past and not have to worry about it. In fact, actually, cops usually set up there because it's a good place to nab some of those people, and I actually appreciate them doing that, because I've had a lot of issues with that intersection where people just, they just kind of do whatever they want. So for them to then pull off the same kind of crap is extremely frustrating. So I'm asking you, officers, please, just put up the stupid lights, because like I said, no one's gonna say anything about that. In fact, just yesterday I had a fire truck that basically went through the same exact intersection with its lights on. No one would, of course, move for it, but then all he did was pull through the intersection and immediately take a right-hand turn, which was where the fire station actually is. And that's just also kind of frustrating, because you're like, well, that's dumb, because now they're making, because they have to stop traffic to pull into that fire station, and you're just like, well, why are we doing this? What is going on? Why does this have to happen right now? Because having them take up the traffic stop is so bad. It really is just ridiculous. But yeah, and I get it. They have a very important job. They need to get places. They need to do all that type of stuff. But, and like I said, I can basically get away with murder in the mail truck, just because this is going to be very difficult on my own. Just because I have kind of the right to do that type of stuff. And while I'm on the people not being able to, like police officers and stuff not being able to drive through intersections, where do have people not learned how to drive through a four-way intersection and don't understand how when you're the first person at the intersection, you're supposed to stop and let the person, when you pull up the intersection, the first person is supposed to be able to go ahead and go through first. They're supposed to have the right of way. But people are just like, oh, I'm just going to rush in and just go. Some people don't even stop. It's a dangerous situation. And at this point, those people are not police officers. They're just your average schmoes doing something completely ridiculous. Let's see if I can do this. I probably can't have the wrong weapon for this, but whatever. Oh, crap. No, alright, whatever. So, but yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about some of the stuff I want to talk about. And I want to go on to trending Twitter topics pretty quick. The first thing, the most important thing that I found this whole week was a singer, New York-based singer, that is having a hard time with her sexuality. And I guess not a hard time with her sexuality. It's more or less a hard time with getting people to understand her sexuality, which she says she's bisexual. The singer name is Halsey. She did the cooperation with the Chainsmokers, and she basically is frustrated with people not understanding what bi means, just because if she dates a man, she's straight. She dates a female, she's gotta be gay. She can't. I guess she's having a problem with people understanding that she can be both. I can't really speak to that because I am not bi or gay, but to understand that her problem is that specific, that people can't understand if she's dating one sex or the other, doesn't mean that she can't be that. It kind of confuses me that people are that, I guess, like closed-minded to that situation, and to think that, I mean, I don't know, maybe just because she's famous, it seems like it should be a little different. Like, people should just understand. Maybe that's what she's thinking. How about, you just kind of get, I don't know, maybe just don't even listen to people. Don't get frustrated by what people are saying. Alright, dude, die, please. And having people comment on that type of stuff is completely annoying. And again, like I said, I get it. Alright, oh come on, you stupid thing, do it up. Crap, I'm dead. Crap. Alright, so with her being, I guess basically she put out a tweet where it says, so if I'm dating a guy, I'm straight, and if I date a woman, I'm a lesbian. Like I said, right? The only way to be a true bisexual is to date two people at once. Pretty sure that's not going to help her situation, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be like, well, that's not cool. Oh, wow, that guy's still alive. Alright. And, I mean, if she wants to date two people, now, do you think she would have, I'm assuming she figures she would have to date, the opposite sex both times, or not the opposite sex both times, one of each sex, to get her point across. Again, I wouldn't recommend having a relationship where she's gonna have more than one person, because she will be called names. Okay, dude, I get it. You can kick and stomp the ground. Ah, so annoying. So some of the comments that went along with this situation is that are just also basic and generic. And my guess is that these people are trying to get her to respond. Oh, my event's complete. I didn't finish it. But why do you want her to respond? What could you possibly respond with? Okay, maybe this isn't gonna work out. Is there just no one around? Okay. Like this person's like, wise words from a fellow bi. Not everything black or white or blue or red. That's gray. There's gray and purple. Okay, we get it. Like, I can't really get behind people complaining about other people's opinions at this point, only because it's just kind of a waste of breath, because everyone's gonna have an opinion, like that famous saying, everyone, opinions are like assholes, everyone has one and they stink. So what exactly are those people looking to get out of that situation, agreeing with someone's complaint? Like, do they get like self-gratification out of it? Like, these are questions that I don't think I could answer here by myself, because I've never felt the need to respond to anyone about that type of stuff. Like, oh, you have a complaint, I have something similar. Maybe it's just my own problem of not being able to relate to things, or relate to maybe I just can't relate to other people anymore. I don't know. But yeah, the whole situation with being, oh, that guy, really? The whole situation with her being bisexual and people making just judgments of her, because I would imagine she should be able to just kind of get over it, and plus she's famous, so people she should probably just understand that people are going to judge her regardless. I mean, granted, in my eyes, she only had really one hit, and that wasn't even technically hers. It was a collaboration with Chainsmokers, which was a good song. I appreciated it, but it's, a big fat whatever, basically. But she, oh, they're going to run. They're in the middle of a nightfall or whatever. The heck? Have I never seen this before? Alright, confusing. Let's see, let's go to a different destination. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. What are these people trying to get out of this conversation that they're not really even having? I don't see her responding to any of these people's posts. So what are they trying to get out of it? Like, where are they? Are they waiting for feedback? Are they hoping for feedback? Are they waiting for that type of situation where they've actually had someone famous respond to them or have some sort of acknowledgement? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Granted, I guess with the way I've dealt with people that I've had run-ins with and brushes with when it comes to famous people. In fact, I'll just tell the story. Back when I was a teenager working at a bagel shop, there was a movie in town called Meet Joe Black, starring Anthony Hopkins and Brad Pitt. We were catered to do we were hired, to do the catering, which is cool. got to, just do what we normally do, but make a lot of money doing it. So that's always awesome. And so what happens was we start to get interviewed by a local TV station. And of course, the first thing the first person they interview is me. 18-year-old me, standing there talking to this woman and explaining to her that I didn't give two craps about making food for Brad Pitt and the famous actors. So much so that they cut out my piece from the from the news report. So all you actually saw was me putting bagels into a place, into I think it was a box. So tell my parents, hey, I'm gonna be on the news, get interviewed about doing that stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let's check it out. And of course, they check it out, and I'm not in it. I'm just doing what I always do, is just do the work that I had to do. And they're like, well, what happened? And I told them, what I said. Like, you're an idiot, because now they're not going to put you in, of course. So you're just out. Which, honestly, at the time, and still now, I still don't have a problem with it, because it was no big deal. I thought it was quite humorous. Oops. And, yeah, so my interaction, that's not one. I've had other ones, but that one's probably my favorite one, because I just kind of poo-pooed all over this reporter who was all giddy and excited that, oh, this food's going to possibly be eaten by Brad Pitt or Anthony Hopkins. And I'm like, oh, those people are nothing. They mean nothing. It's just a job. And that's what I told her. And she was, again, like I said, not happy with the way I reacted to it. So, yeah, I guess I kind of blew that one as far as leaving an impression or possibly getting on TV. So that kind of stunk. What are you going to do? Actually, nowadays it'd be even cooler because I'd be on a cell phone. You can watch me on your cell phone, which actually will lead me to my next topic, which is literally about cell phones and the dangers that they are now being reported on cell phones. So for those who don't know, California has released scientific study, maybe even science-based stuff, that where'd that guy go? Okay. That warn people of using cell phones too much and how they should use it and all that fun happy stuff. And basically what they're saying is you should always carry it in like a backpack or a what do you call it, or a purse, or just not, but basically not in a pocket. They could increase, risk for brain cancer and tumors and low sperm counts, headaches and impaired memory, hearing, and sleep, which is all stuff that everyone kind of assumed anyways. But basically what happened was Dr. Karen Smith with the California Department of Public Health came out that we recognize the general public has been, what do you call it? Using it. Stupid thing. Have concerns about, because there's, I think they said 95% in first world countries are using cell phones or have cell phones available to them. So with that being the case, they released this. That's what they claim. They released this information. In actuality, there was another doctor, Dr. Joel Moshowitz from UC Berkeley, who said, currently we are not doing a good job of regulating radiation from these devices, being cell phones. In fact, we are doing an abysmal job. And he's partially responsible for this information coming to light because he's sued the Department of Public Health for refusing to release this information and dangerous cell phone radiation back in 2009. So they've known about this problem for a while. And, of course, the response by the other doctor is, well, our position, that the science of cell phones is evolving and the risk is much lower. Look, if that was the case, I don't think 95% of the people would give up their cell phones. At this point, I'm a 39-year-old man. I know I'm gonna die. I understand that situation. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not happy about it, but something has to kill me. Nothing lives forever. And if that's the case, I'll die to the cell phone radiation. That's fine. If I had to pick a way to go, slow and painful seems to be the best way. You'd have to pry that phone out of my dead hands to get me from not using it. I mean, I use it all the time. And it's more or less for stupid stuff. Watching YouTube videos or keeping up on some social media, which I don't do a lot of, but I like Twitter, obviously, and I like to do Instagram every once in a while. So to have that as a threat is kind of weird. Having two doctors argue over the amount of information that's being given is not weird, because if you just follow the money, whoever is giving the doctor money is the one who's is what kind of information they're gonna give out. So sometimes it'll be fact based, sometimes it won't be fact based. But if you follow the money, they always will lead to the person who wants certain information getting out. But yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna die from something specifically, I'm not gonna mind dying from cell phone radiation. I actually have a high string of cancer that runs in my family, so I guess that's not really a fair fight for me. Yeah, cancer's gonna happen regardless, but having a person tell me I should carry it in a in a back. I'm not gonna carry a backpack just to get myself less of a risk. Like, it's not that much of a risk. I'd rather just take the little bit of radiation that I'm getting. It's just one of those things. Now, how did those end up there? Oh, they dropped a lot. Let's see, go this way. Oh, he's got that one too. Alright. So, yeah. With them having... Okay, can we just put it in there? With them having that kind of a chat, the two doctors, okay. With them having that kind of I don't even know if you can really call it a disagreement. For them to kind of go ahead and be like, yeah, it doesn't hurt you as much as you think, but also you've been hiding information since '09 about it. Both are bad, like really, really bad. I can't jump up there for some reason. I don't know. Oh. I don't know what exactly why exactly they wouldn't come out with that information right away. It just seems like a natural type of thing to do. It's just information. But again, I guess I can kind of understand it. What the heck? Because that type of situation, again, if you just follow the money, they're just going to tell you, hey, you better give them what we want as information, or we're going to go ahead and sell this product without you, and you won't get a cut, which is always bad for people. Money is unfortunately one of the more important things out there at this day and age, because that's the situation and that challenge look at that. The situation we put together for ourselves is that specific. Nothing exciting there. What do I gotta? It's okay. But yeah, that's pretty much that situation as far as. But yeah, just people understand that cell phones do give off radiation, and they say because if you leave it on normal, that as long as it's just not on airplane mode, it's going to be searching for a connection all the time. And with that being the case, it's always going to have a little bit of radiation going on and through it. So, yeah. Again. Whoa. I should have definitely muted that. My apologies, everyone. Oh, sorry, guys. Yes, I actually am podcasting solo tonight. It's something I chose to do. I had two people ask me. Hobegger, yes, I am going solo. And also Jay Doom, who were previous guests of mine. I'm assuming they probably are annoyed with the fact that I'm going solo and didn't invite them. But it was something I wanted to try by myself, just to see how it came out. It's not it's not going to make or break me if it comes out good or not. It's just just wanted to see how it goes. And again, it's a half-hour show where I hang out in the basement with the people I've lured in here, which is kind of light today. I mean, I'm talking by myself, but there's a couple people in and around. Now, before I go into my next set of things that I'm going to do, next Monday is Christmas. I will still be doing a show on Christmas. I know that seems dumb, but I'm going to do it because I don't care. I already have guests lined up, so it's not that bad of a thing. And then the following week, it's New Year's Day, and I have another plan for that, too. It's going to be completely ridiculous, but it's something I'm going to try. So that being said, I'm not going to stop the show. I'm going to keep going. So what I would normally do after I do my trending Twitter topics, I would then go and play a game with my guests. We would play Onion or Not the Onion, but I don't have anyone to play that with tonight, so I thought I'd do a little bit something different, change it up a little bit, and I am going to go to the subreddit Ask Reddit, where people make topics where they ask questions and Reddit users just answer them. Obviously, they usually do it through text or typing up the answers. I will not. I will just answer them live here on the air, which is probably the dumbest thing I've said so far on this pod stream. So, first question, and I'm not going in any order. I just picked out a couple that I enjoy, and I'm going to answer. Some of them I'm actually going to do randomly that I have not gone over, so I don't have a predetermined answer, which might be bad. So the first one, what movie scene will never cease to make you laugh? And that is actually pretty easy of a question for me. There's a couple, but my top one ever is definitely going to be from Monty Python, Holy Grail, and that is the bridge crossing scene with the Black Knight. At this point in my life, I can repeat every single word to you, for you. I will not bore you to death but it is so funny. It has everything going for it, from the dialogue, which is witty and snappy, and they just kind of irk each other, which is great. And then, of course, the physical humor of actually having the Black Knight getting chopped up, still defending his post, which is very honorable. And in the end, King Arthur wins out and does what he's supposed to do, and that's just move on, even though he really wanted that knight to be part of his round table. So yeah, that is the one scene that still gets me every time. Now, granted, most of that movie still gets me every time, and I believe I was at Hobegger's parents' house in Indiana, and we all agreed to watch that movie only if we went without repeating the line for line redo of it between myself and Hobegger. I think we got up as far as that scene, and then it just went to crap. So that's kind of what happened. So that's what I enjoy. And why wouldn't I, really, at this point? Come on, stupid thing. Die. Um, so the next one that I read, what is the best friendship in all of fiction? Now, that's kind of a weird and difficult question because it depends on what type of fiction. There's so many different types of fiction. You can do books, movies, television, all that type of stuff. The obvious answer is actually the show Friends because their friendship is the real. No, I'm just kidding. I could never even remotely say that was a thing. For me, it's always going to be from a book. And it is from actually a series of books. And it was a character that I eventually named one of my dogs after was Tasselhoff Burfoot. And he had a couple of friends, but the stuff he did with Flint was always some of my favorite stuff. And I know that kind of seems weird, and I'm sure there's so many people out there that have no clue who that even is, and that's okay. I encourage you to go look up the Dragonlance books and read them and but just be a part of that. It's such a fantastic friendship between two, well, a kinder and a dwarf, which again, it's so nerdy, but I guess it's so kind of me. So yeah, other ones that I would do, I would definitely consider the weird and kind of friendship between what's his face? Oh my god, I'm gonna totally draw a blank. It's from Bull Durham, The Catcher and the Pitcher, because it's such a funny type of situation where one's actually trying to be a mentor and the other one's they end up becoming friends and doing stuff for each other even though they're basically in a love triangle. And I know that's so lame and stupid, but I enjoy even that give and take between the two people. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Would your 15-year-old self be impressed with who you are today? Now, impressed probably isn't the best word for this question for me, because when I was a 15-year-old kid, didn't exactly have a lot of aspirations to do anything. Of course, that's why I'm a postal worker now, so that's, it's my own fault, and I understand that. My 15-year-old self would not be impressed. Short answer. Long answer, I would probably be ashamed of myself at this point, where, not because, I have a good enough life, I guess you could say. I'm kind of living the American dream, have enough money to support family, wife, kids, all that fun stuff. But to have not nothing to show for it, but any sort of actual financial achievement, I don't have any of that at all. Like, not even a little bit. I'll be happy to make it through Christmas time this year. So, to have that, I need one more. To have that kind of question, it's tough, because it's, again, not having aspirations, not striving to have ever done anything in my life. You end up as a 39-year-old man working for the post office that doesn't really enjoy the job that he does, because I'm just a glorified paper boy. Not sure if you guys know that. That's all you. Don't go out and tip your mailman this Christmas season. Don't do it. We don't work for tips. There'll be no other mailman that ever says that to you ever in their entire lives, but I will. I'll tell you that right now. Glorified paper boy. I move paper products from one spot to another, and that's it. That's the whole deal. I know it's pretty stupid, but that's where I am in my life. Apparently Habegger, who's still watching or listening to the show at least, is telling me to give my kids stamps. I don't think they would appreciate it, one. Two is I'm pretty sure they would hate me forever if I gave them stamps. So, yeah, kids, if there are any people under the age of 20 that are actually listening to the show, figure out something you want to strive to do and actually go out and do it. Because if you don't, you'll end up being a goddamn postal worker, and it's horribly boring. Horribly boring. So yeah, there's always that. Feel free to take that advice with however you see fit. Alright, so here, I'm going to stop playing for just a second and go ahead and find one that I haven't prepared for. Let's see. Let's find a good one. Oh, alright, so here's one. Oh, wait, let's see. I got a fantastic... But they can collect the stamps. Thank you, Hobagger. I don't think they want to collect the stamps. Okay. Where was it? Oh, I just had one. Oh, okay. What's the saddest episode of your favorite TV show? Let's see. My favorite... Well, first I'd have to figure out what my favorite TV show ever would be. Ooh, that's a tough one. And clearly it would have to be a cartoon. I mean, I could say something easy like Rick and Morty and do like any one of the Rick and Morty ones because they're all depressing in some way, shape, or form. But I won't. That answer's kind of too easy, and it's definitely not my favorite show ever. I don't know. I guess Cheers might be my favorite show ever for a sitcom. And the saddest one ever was probably the one where Coach died. Again, if anyone's under the age of 35, you're not going to know these references at all. Oh my god, who am I even making this pod stream for anymore? Is it for me? I don't know. I don't even know why I'm going through this. It makes no sense to me at all. I'm so glad I can just make myself laugh, but... so ridiculous. I have, let's see, in a cartoon form. Oh, geez, there's been some tough ones. Like any of the, like any Naruto episode where him and Sasuke start fighting and they only just want to be understood by each other. That always gets me. And that's such a stupid thing. Apparently, Hobberger thinks I'm making this show for him. I'm only talking to him and about him, which is kind of weird. So that is a little awkward. So at this point, I guess I am making this thing for myself and him. So I'll always have one loyal listener. Right? Much love, Hobberger. Much love, brother. Yeah. But yeah, anytime Sasuke and Naruto fought, and actually the first time they fought in front of the waterfalls, and they're reliving their story and how they both grew up orphans and all that type of stuff, always got to me. And oh, thank you, J2. I can't have you guys on the pod stream anymore because who's gonna watch it? So you guys are almost permanently banning yourself from the pod stream. But yeah, the first time that Sasuke and Naruto fight in front of the waterfall, and they're like, oh, I grew up as an orphan and you didn't understand, and all that. And for some reason, I can remember to the day, I just moved into this house. We just had my daughter, so my third child, and I sat there while my wife is at work watching that stupid anime, or actually, I don't even think I was watching the anime. I might have been reading the manga. No, I'm pretty sure I was watching the anime. And it was like, it's all so teary-eyed. I think I actually choked up and everything, which is kind of sad. Because at that point, I'm a grown-ass man. just crying over a Japanese anime. Oh my god. This is, you know what? I'm definitely not doing this solo anymore. So all I'm going to do is reveal all my darkest secrets that I probably shouldn't be telling anybody. Oh my goodness. Let's kill some stuff because I need to distract myself. Die. Alright, so let's go ahead and find... Oh god, Hobberger, you would cry. Dude, the animes you watch, you should cry at some of those things. You should cry at your own just misfortune of putting yourself through some of the torment. Let's see. Let's see. Well, that's a weird question. All right, so what? Without revealing your location, where do you live? Like, I don't even know how to do that one. That one doesn't make it. Like, yeah, I live in the Ocean State, which, if you don't know, I get knocked off the side. Are you kidding me? If you don't know what that means, or what every, what do you call it? What every state nickname is, you're not gonna have any clue what that means. And I guess that's cool because whatever. But why would, I don't know why anyone care about that. That's kind of a weird question. Let's see. Which game has been played most in human history? Well, that seems like that's kind of a fact-based question. I don't think I could answer a fact-based question at this point in my life. I'm pretty sure I've been told not to by certain people. So, oh boy. All right, give me one more of those things. Can I just get the stupid thing? Did I get it? I got 3 of those now. Oh, sweet. All right. Shoot. Yeah. Time to make another weapon. Sweet. All right, let's go see Brother Vance before I lose my mind. Let's see. Should I answer another question? I don't know. Let's see. I got a lot of stuff going on in the chat between 2 people. Apparently, Habegger has not cried to the Naruto one, which I guess is kind of explanatory. J Doom says DBZ made me cry when Krillin died. I think Krillin died like every week. Pac-Man, I'm not sure what that is supposed to mean. Let's see. Okay. Here's a good one. And it's kind of topical from what I tweeted yesterday. Is the NFL dying? And if so, why? It's definitely dying. And I'm going to have a little bit of a different approach. Not too much, but a little bit different. Coming from the background, I used to coach youth football. I stopped this past year. It's the first time I haven't coached in 8 years. And having seen... Oh, most played game. Okay, Doom, that makes sense with Pac-Man. That might be video game, but I'm pretty sure they meant like chess, like actual games. Having seen the numbers dwindle and dwindle from when I started coaching to the last year coaching the kids, just seeing how many people don't come out and do any of that stuff anymore. A lot of parents don't want their kids, taking the chance of having that happen. Anything with CTE, obviously. But another reason is they're over officiating games, and I think instant replay, which is something they needed back in the 80s and 90s, they don't need it now. And having it constantly kind of screw up games and that type of stuff, it's too much. Like, they're going frame by frame, HD type of crazy stuff, to the point where you're like, well, I couldn't see that in real time. No ref is going to be able to see that in real time. So why even have the refs out there? Just replay everything. But then it's too much, or then it's not enough. It's just a weird kind of situation with the way they're over officiating everything. The CTE, if they get the live scans, which they said they're in the process of doing, where's that gun? Yeah, I want to see that. Long range silver high damage. Yeah, let's get back on track. Focus. To have the CTE being tested on live individuals has got to be scary for the NFL and boxing and MMA. I mean, there's always going to be people who say the risk is worth it to get the fame, the notoriety, and get out of, the horrible situation that they're living in, that they're relying on those type of sports and activities to get them out of, being poor or from the hood or the ghetto, whatever you want to say, or being just being poor in general. But having that type of situation of being able to say, this is what causes CTE, this is how you get it, we can test it while you're alive, and as you go, you can kind of bail out when you need to, but do you want to wait too long? Because the NFL has also had two major neck injuries in the past month. One for the guy for the Steelers, I can't think of anyone's name, and the guy just last week who it was the most, I think it was for the Colts, one of the most innocuous hits, like a kind of a hit that happens, like it was helmet to helmet, but it was just a blocking play, and the tight end, he just dropped. Now granted, he had neck injuries prior, from what I remember reading, and in fact, I think it was Chip Kelly told him not to keep playing, to get out of the sport, and he didn't, and he might not ever walk again. That type of stuff, I don't remember major injuries like that happening when I was younger. I mean, yes, the Lawrence Taylor, Joe Theismann thing was horrible, and I've seen some of that type, but that was a broken leg. Broken legs can heal and mend. Having a spinal fluid leaking out because you crushed your vertebrae together, that can't be replaced, that cannot be fixed, and stuff like that is scaring parents away from bringing the kid to the youth sports and having them do that stuff. So it is really hard to have that kind of go. I honestly, at this point, I don't like watching the NFL. I find it kind of crappy. I think the coaching's bad. I think the reffing's bad. Oh, I can't get any more stuff. But again, what are you gonna do? You just kind of, if you can avoid it. If not, I guess you just gotta kind of go for it and take the risk. And that's kind of how I feel about the NFL. So, yeah. Well, let's see. Any more questions? Not really. I think we kind of had fun with that today, and I know that I enjoy playing Onion and Not the Onion, but that's just, I don't have a guest to play it with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go ahead and start wrapping this up a little bit. So what we do at the end of the pod stream, I like to go over what I've been consuming. And by that, I mean what kind of media, whether it be or entertainment media, I've been consuming lately, whether it be movies, television, books, comics, podcasts, streams, YouTube. I'm going over YouTubers. And as of right now, what I've actually been consuming a lot of lately is this game right here in front of me, Destiny 2. I know they caught some flack recently about putting some stuff up behind paywalls, and they fixed that. But this DLC, it's short, but there's stuff to do. The gameplay is actually a lot of fun. I've actually been pushing myself a little bit in the Crucible, which is their PvP stuff. I've actually been doing better as of late. At the beginning, I couldn't play the PvP at all. I was terrible. But I've figured stuff out, so I'm enjoying it more. But this actual experience with the DLC is a lot of fun. The clan and I came close, I think, a couple times with taking down the new raid lair, which is kind of cool. I wish they came out with a huge raid, but I'll take the raid lair because I still enjoy doing the first raid that they did, so that's fine with me. Other than that, I haven't been consuming a whole lot. I work in 50 to 60 hours a week with my job being Christmas time. So unfortunately, I've been consuming a lot of Christmas music because I have people at work that want to listen to it all the time. And it's awful. Hobegger is answering a question I asked 15 minutes ago about animes that he cried about. He watched the Gantz anime where he cried because they killed the alien child. Which I can kind of get because he's also a father of a young child now, and that'll just get you right in the gonads. But so yeah. But I'm just gonna complain about Christmas music for a second. Like, I get it. Everyone wants to be in the festive mood, and the music helps with that a lot. The only problem is the fact that I live in a small state that has a grand total of, I think, a dozen radio stations. And 3 of them have gone to full-time Christmas music since Thanksgiving. And it's horrible. It's so bad. There's only so many Christmas songs to listen to, and I can't take it anymore. I just want Christmas over so I can stop listening to Christmas music. And plus, when Christmas is over, we can start planning real holidays like MLK Day, which is in January. Great day. And then President's Day, which is in February. Another great day. And that's just how it should be. We should celebrate people, not fictional people. And I'm just saying that to get under your skin. But yeah, so that's going to basically wrap it up here in the basement. So to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, to follow me, all you have to do is go to Creepy Uncle Ray on Twitter, on Instagram, and YouTube, where we are now. It's Creepy Uncle Ray 77. If you have any questions, or you want to answer some of those questions I went over from Ask Reddit today, and you want to respond to me, do it through those sources, or you can email me at creepyuncleray77@gmail.com. The outro music is Psycho, and the name of the song is World of Mine. Psycho is spelled Seico. Yes, J. Doom, Santa, correct, is not fictional. So yeah, other than that, let me get that duct tape off of you, and you guys go out and have yourself a great holiday, and I hope you enjoy everything you give, not receive.